What is good, Ninja? OJ over here from PlayerEssence, and welcome to another PE Nintendo Switch and gaming news video. Today, we have some awesome topics for you guys. Like always, let's go ahead and get right into it. So apparently, Doom on the Nintendo Switch runs at 30 frames per second at the moment. So this is a little bit more information that has been coming out from various different outlets. Now, there's been some reports as far as the Doom frame rate having a little bit of dips. The other reports saying that it runs completely good. I guess it's based on what your eye is perceiving in addition to just the build in general, like how much stuff is on screen. But either way, there was a rep there saying that pretty much to all of the outlets that Doom, as far as the frame rates, it's still being optimized as far as the games, the graphics. So there's still stuff that they're going to do for the game as far as the way that it looks and the way that it runs. So we shouldn't really worry too much about that. But the big thing that everyone wants to talk about is how the game is running in 30 frames per second instead of the 60 frames per second that it is on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. And I don't really think, based on like just how Doom looks and based on the Nintendo Switch hardware, that that's too much of a shock. I know we talked about this a little bit on my last podcast that I did with NewZ, and I think Terminator Juice brought it up saying, well, what would you think? And I'm just like, well, I don't care, because this game would have never been purchased by me at all if it wasn't on the Nintendo Switch. And I'm only purchasing it because of portability. The game is cheaper and runs better on my PC, on my PS4, Xbox One, but it's not necessarily the type of game that I'm going to sit down there and play in front of a TV monitor for however many hours or whatever the case is. It's a game that I don't mind picking up and playing portably whenever I have the opportunity, like maybe like when I'm waiting in the car for my daughter, but it's definitely not a game that I'm going to sit out there and play and really worried about 4K and 60 frames per second. I honestly don't care about those things. Now, not that that isn't important in an arena style shooter or something that's fast paced. Trust me, it's cool and it's important for those who care about that and who want the best experience. But for me, I didn't buy the game with the best experience anyway. I just want the game that's portable. I want the game to where I can play anywhere I want, because one, I want to support third-party developers who make great games on the Nintendo Switch. That's the most important reason for me. I want more content that I can play portably. And two, portable is more important to me than 60 frames per second, than all that stuff for that type of game. Now, if you're talking about a fighting game where it's competitive and where I'm really invested into it with button inputs and moves, then yeah, 60 frames per second to me, like Pokken Tournament or like Dragon Ball Fighters or something like that, absolutely 60 frames per second is really needed for that. But for Doom, that's just going to be a game that I'm playing by myself, shooting in the car, you know what I'm saying? It's not going to be something to where I'm going to be going online and trying to play against people and get the most headshots and all that. I don't care. And I think a lot of people who are buying Doom on the Nintendo Switch or who are going to buy Doom or third-party games on the Switch feel the same way. They have another system they can play it on, but portability is a big factor to them, and they want just a game that they can take anywhere they go. So guys, trust me, I do understand it would have been better if the game was at 60 frames per second, or at least had an option for that, maybe lower the resolution, whatever the case is. But does that mean that I'm not going to play the game and that I'm not going to support third-party developers because the Switch isn't as strong as the PS4 and Xbox One, and it's literally like a fraction of the size of those other systems? Of course not. Then we're not going to get more third-party games. A lot of people accuse me of, oh, well, you don't want third-party games, you're the reason why it's not. And then when a good third-party game comes, oh, well, I'm not going to buy it because it's 30 frames per second. No, I'm going to support it. I'm going to buy it because it's a good game. Yes, it's at a lower resolution or frame rate or whatever the case is, but looking at the footage of the game, it still plays good, it still runs fast, and I want more third-party support. The same thing that everyone's been crying about, and you got to buy the games in order to get that. And like I said, the added value of portability is bigger to me with this type of game, because I'm not hardcore into arena style shooters. I don't care about them. I don't buy them on my PC, which I'm literally like one graphics card update away from getting one that can do 4K. Already have a 4K monitor, already have enough RAM, already have fast enough RAM, already have a great processor, i7. So for me, it really isn't a big deal in the first place, because I haven't had more PC elitists talk to me about anything other than today, man. And seriously, I had people even saying, oh, well, if you want a portable version of Doom, then you can just play it on PC on a gaming laptop. And I'm like, seriously, you want me to lug this around? Like, are you really serious about that? This isn't really portable. I'm not going to be lugging this in my car before I go pick up my daughter or anything like that. And that's how desperate some of these guys are, not understanding that people just like something like this. See how it's much smaller? This is actual real portability. So it's just funny. It's just funny all the responses that I got today when I was just like, oh, well, you know, it's still a good game coming, want to support the game. Seems like PC elitists were mad that people want to buy a third-party game on the Nintendo Switch and not on the PC, you know, so it's funny. So let me know what you guys think about this. Are you still going to be picking up Doom? Is it a deal breaker for you? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Alright, and speaking of Bethesda, Pete Hines has talked about all the different content they're going to be bringing to the Nintendo Switch when it comes to the sales expectations of Doom and also Skyrim, why they're even making it, and more. So let's go ahead and get into what he had to say on the matter. Quote, "We haven't done anything on a Nintendo platform in forever. Breath of the Wild being the runaway colossal hit that it is, there's certainly some belief like, hey, if you like open world RPGs where you can explore and do what you want, Skyrim might be a good fit for you. I don't know what the exact size is, but some number of people who own Switches have never played Skyrim before. It's a new thing for them, and for folks who have played the game, the ability to take it on the road, you're going on a trip or commuting to work, it's a great time." Funny how Pete Hines, a guy who makes really great games for PCs and all that, can understand the value of taking it anywhere you want over these people who obviously don't make games. So that's just funny. I wanted to point that out. And Doom is a completely different kind of game from what everyone else is doing. It's a very visceral, violent, bloody, fun first-person shooter. We're excited. They both have their place in what's going on with the platform. Hines also commented on the difficulty of getting Doom running on the Nintendo Switch. Probably no more so than any other platform. Every time you go to a new platform, there's always going to be challenges in terms of how they do this or what they do differently from PC, but we feel like we have something that represents the game and looks really good. Some games may look as good as Doom on the Nintendo Switch, but I'm not sure that anything looks better. It's an impressive looking game, and it's still really fun to play. Then he also briefly talked about the expectations, but he didn't really give any solid numbers or anything like that, so if you want to hear what he had to say on that, make sure you check out the link in the description below. And then finally, he talked about the conversations with Nintendo on the matter. Quote, "Honestly, it's been a long series of them. They came out to see us before they unveiled the Nintendo Switch to show us what the hardware was like, what they were doing with it. We've been in constant conversation with them, and it's not just about the two games we have now, but about our whole approach to the platform going forward. What we can do, best practices, what things are a good fit, what they're excited about, and what we're doing. We're obviously excited about these two games, but it's not as if we're going to just do these two games and that's it. We want this to be the start of a relationship that we build with Nintendo and Nintendo fans." So let's talk about this a bit, because I have said this before when it comes to Nintendo and what they did last generation versus this generation. Last generation, Nintendo simply picked the wrong partners to go with. They tried to go with EA and they went with Activision, and both of those backfired in terms of the type of games that they offer. With the Nintendo Wii U, we saw a lot of EA games and obviously the partnership fell apart, but then we saw Activision as well with Call of Duties and all of that. And necessarily those games, as far as what EA was offering, weren't the best quality. There are issues with other things when it comes to Call of Duty, but overall Call of Duty was pretty good as far as Call of Duty Black Ops 2 on the Nintendo Wii U, but this time they're picking more of the experiences that probably fit better with what a Nintendo fan would like and games that we have gotten before. I feel that Skyrim is a fantastic fit, and if you're going to pick a developer, especially one to work with as far as trying to get more Western support or more impactful Western support, Bethesda's probably a better developer to go with, in my opinion, based on what they have. Fallout, Doom, Skyrim, these are the type of games that Nintendo fans have been clamoring for a long time, especially since Doom used to be on Nintendo systems. Heck, there was a Doom on the Game Boy Advance, and Skyrim has always been something people kind of put in the same bracket as Zelda, or just say, hey man, I like Zelda and I also like Skyrim, and like you said, there's probably some fans that still haven't tried it out yet. I know a lot of people wanted that on the Wii U, so I just think that they picked a better partner when it comes to someone that they can rely on, someone they can trust in order to get high quality games on the system, and you're seeing that with Doom. Based on some of the previews that I've seen, it looks amazing. Yes, 30 frames per second like we talked about, but it still looks really good running on there, and it's going to be a great portable experience with the sound and with just the way that it plays. And then on top of that, you have Skyrim, which is also looking like a fantastic experience. So I have a lot of hope going forward that we're going to see a lot of other games on there, and he hinted about that. He said, hey, it's just not these two games. They also have Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus, coming to Nintendo Switch, but I think it's even going to be more than that. Maybe the next Fallout, maybe Fallout 4 with all the DLC on there, or potentially even the next Elder Scrolls game as well. There's a lot to look forward to when it comes to Bethesda support on Nintendo systems, and I implore all of you guys to make sure you check out their games, because I've always liked Bethesda games. Yes, some of them do come a little bit buggy every now and then, but Doom definitely is not, and I think it's a great game. So let me know what you guys think about this partnership that Nintendo's picked with Bethesda going forward. And Nintendo also had other partnerships as well, and trust me, this isn't going to be the be-all, end-all. There will be more as far as Nintendo and third-party developers. Obviously, Square Enix, they're working on Final Fantasy 15 as far as getting that on the Switch, and there's going to be other big reveals as well from other publishers and developers. We know that Koei Tecmo has a good relationship with Nintendo as well, so I'm looking forward to seeing the games that come out. But like I said before, and like I said many times, there is a lot of games and not enough time to play all of these games. So I'm thankful for what we're getting, but I'm definitely hoping that we do get more going forward in the future, and we see some awesome third-party ports that run well on the Nintendo Switch, in addition to great first-party content Nintendo's already offering. Alright, and moving on to the next article here. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild takes home the top prize at the Japan Game Awards 2017. So at the Tokyo Game Show earlier today, the primary winners were announced for the Japan Game Awards 2017. Nintendo was the big winner at the event, especially due to Zelda Breath of the Wild taking home the Grand Award. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild also was selected for Award of Excellence along with Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon. The Pokemon games also won Global Award for Japanese products. Now there's a big roundup of different games here, like all sorts of stuff. Excellence, you have Overwatch, Persona 5, Pokemon, Final Fantasy 15, Toriko, then Resident Evil 7, Nioh, Nier Automata, Horizon Zero Dawn, Zelda, and then Monster Hunter Double Cross. And then there was some other stuff as far as game designer awards and everything. So if you want to see the full list, which wasn't really big, there wasn't a ton of different categories, make sure you check out the links in the description below. But obviously, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild was going to be a huge winner for a lot of different people. I don't really think it's going to stop with the Japan Game Awards 2017. We're going to see a lot of people as far as nominate it and pick it for various awards when it comes to a lot of the different outlets out there. Obviously, right now, it's my game of the year, but we still need to see Super Mario Odyssey on the Nintendo Switch, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 as well. But I'm pretty sure those games, as far as that come late, those ones might be awarded or included into the next year's Game Awards like we've seen done before. So what do you guys think about The Legend of Zelda taking home these awards in addition to Pokemon and the various other games here? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Alright Ninja, that wraps it up for this video here. Go ahead and check out the links in the description below. We've got Facebook, we've got Twitter. Go ahead and give us a like and a follow on our social media. Really helps us spread the content of PlayerEssence across the interwebs in addition to YouTube. So make sure you check out our Patreon page. Pledge any tier, be entered into win some awesome prizes each month. In addition to that, we have Discord voice chat and $10 prize eShop tournaments for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Splatoon 2, and more. So support PE Live and PE Arena right here on PlayerEssence. Also, make sure you hit that like button if you did like this video. Lets me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future. And subscribe to PlayerEssence for the latest news, reviews, discussions, and more. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you Ninja for the next video. Peace.